Well, Gauteng's MEC for Infrastructure and Development, Jacob Mamabolo, is about to provide an update on the impact of the storm. At briefing to the media, I understand, has just started. There it is there. Let's take you live there now. It's all got to do with the damage left behind after that storm in Joburg yesterday. Let's listen in.
The communities across the province. MEC, I will hand over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Theo, and compliments of the new year. I'm not sure if everybody is ready yet. You had not checked if everybody was ready. Because you had said you want to give them...
No, I know they are ready. When the cameras go red, you know they are ready.
Okay. Now, without any waste of time, as Theo explained, let me just also confirm that indeed the provincial government of Gauteng has a task team in the province, which I'm co-chairing with MEC for Human Settlement and COGTA, MEC Mashatile, who, as you know now, is the National Treasury of the African National Congress. Dr. Stole is the head of our provincial disaster management center, which coordinate all disasters in the province. He is based at the Department of COGTA, Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs in the province. So he is the man responsible for overseeing all disaster-related matters in the province. Now, what I will do is read a brief statement, and of course, we can, as always, take questions from you. Now, let me also just say Happy Christmas to all of you, compliments of the year to come. Let me be the first one to wish all of you a Happy New Year. By the time you get Happy New Year compliments, I'll have been the first to do that. Now, on a very sad note, let me just indicate that the Gauteng Provincial Government, through its Provincial Disaster Management Center, was activated after 6 p.m. yesterday, when the South African Weather Services issued a warning that there will be heavy rain that will affect mostly the Central Corridor. The Central Development Corridor is mainly the area of the city of Johannesburg, and of course we have what we call the Western Development Corridor, which covers the area of the West Rand District Municipality. Now, together with the municipalities across the province, our disaster management team has done extensive work on the ground to make an assessment, to receive reports and conduct an evaluation of what has been the impact of the severe storms that affected our province. As you'll be aware, at around 6 p.m., heavy downpours hit various parts of our province, affecting public, private, property, and of course even the roads. Motorists were affected as well. The heavy rains left RDP houses, homes, of course private homes and sheds were destroyed, and we have also seen trees were uprooted, and many of them blocked the roads, and of course this was due to flooding. Now we've got a number of areas that have been affected in the province, and the areas affected, let me start with the city of Johannesburg. The areas that are affected include the Hamburg squatter camp, the area of Loli, Lenasia, Westbury, Lufering, Bramfisher, and Snake Park. In the West Rand, the areas of Simunye, Zuberko, Motaking, and Kagiso have been severely affected. Now, let me also indicate that we have received a report that unfortunately 2 people lost their lives in Lenasia, in the city of Johannesburg, and this is because a tree fell onto their vehicle as they were driving, and this has unfortunately caused a loss of life. Our condolences to them and to their families. And we are also aware that a number of people were treated for various injuries that resulted from the storm. The provincial and local government disaster management teams have been working around the clock in assisting with providing people with temporary relief for those affected by the storm. Our Provincial Disaster Management Center is working with the affected municipalities to finalize the assessment of the damage so that we can measure the true extent of the damage and the financial costs of the entire damage. Government at the moment is providing tents, particularly to people that have lost their, that don't have any form of shelter. We are providing blankets. We are providing food parcels to those affected by the storms. And let me also just indicate that the mayor, executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg, Councillor Mashaba, we are aware that he's also visiting the affected areas in the city of Joburg. The executive mayor of Mohali City, Councillor Dipudi, is also visiting the affected areas within the municipality of Mohali City. So we are in touch with both the mayors because these are the two areas that have been affected. We have also contacted all the municipalities in Tshwane. We can confirm that up to that far there's no reported incident in the city of Tshwane. We have not received any report in the city of Ekurhuleni, except that there's a hospital there that has been affected. It's actually the West Rand. It's Leratong. Oh, sorry, yes, that is Leratong in the West Rand has been affected. But in Ekurhuleni, we have not received any report of affected areas. We have made contacts with all the 3 municipalities in Sidibeng. We have not received any information thus far about any damages. So in the whole of West Rand, the other municipalities have not been affected. It's only the areas mainly in Mohali City. I think Dr. Stolle can also add, you will give some more additional information about the specific details of the areas affected, for example, in the West Rand. We would like to make a plea to our people that given the fact that we are living in a period where, of course, storms and disasters of this nature have been happening in the past. We have had extreme weather conditions. This is something that has been going on before. But at the moment, we have a new reality that we would like to plead with our people to take into account. And that is the fact that what will be called natural disasters is now being worsened and made very severe by extreme changes in weather conditions as a result of the climate changes in climate conditions across the globe. So the appeal that we want to make to people is that whenever weather services, authorities or bureaus issues warning to the people, we really want to plead with them to heed the weather warnings and take precautionary measures, especially in the season of heavy rains, hailstorms and strong winds, which affected our province. We also want to say to the people that it is very much important that when the weather authorities have issued warnings and signals that there could be serious changes in weather patterns, that there are certain measures that they can take, because the best way to proactively take control and manage the severe impact of these weather conditions is when people themselves, of course working with government, but they respond promptly and swiftly to these warnings that are issued by various weather bureaus that are communicated through the mass media. We believe that this is the best way to proactively manage the severity and of course the negative impact of what will come out of such weather conditions. For example, we would want to encourage people that whenever announcements have been made that there are going to be storms, we will encourage people to make sure that they are in places of safety and they are amongst people, they have company. The most vulnerable are taken care of. These are women, children are not left alone, because indeed when such storms hit, the most vulnerable of our communities will be severely affected. We also want to encourage people, communities, to really form committees and structures that could actually coordinate and respond when storms hit different areas, and that will be also to relocate people, to rebuild shacks, to strengthen and make sure that they support each other. So we want to make a plea to the people that it is also very much important and critical that communities have some structures and committees that can actually help to strengthen the work of community solidarity support amongst the people to be able to manage this type of disasters. There are also other warnings. We want to plead with motorists that it is very much important that when warnings have been issued, people do not continue to drive on roads, particularly when they don't have a clear view. Now we can see the storms are uprooting trees and they can fall on the road. So we want to make a passionate plea to our motorists that under such conditions, we really will urge them sorry. Thank you very much, Dr. Stole. My sincere apologies about that. Now, the other thing that's very much important for us to convey to people is that there are also problems of lightnings. And normally, we do have people that will be engaging in sports activities during such times, and that is also not advisable to play sport, for example, during thunderstorms, golfers, fishermen, different people that could be active. During that time, we want to make a plea to them to take the necessary precautions. We also we are aware that particularly during this festive period, even when weather alerts have been made, there might still be some people that are in gazebos, in picnic shelters, in the parks. We also want to urge them to take the necessary precautions so that they don't expose themselves to the risks. We also want to thank the media and, of course, our mass communication platforms, channels that continue to communicate these messages. And we believe that when these warnings are issued, the people should stay close to media channels, to listen to radio, to TV, and to hit the warnings so that we can proactively manage what could be the negative impact of these disasters. Now, let me just also ask Dr. Stolle to add on some of the details that might have came in, but the principle here is that as the government, we are still conducting assessments, particularly in Mogale City. As I said, the mayor is on the ground. They are picking up more information. They will bring it to us. And of course, in the city of Joburg, again, the mayor is on the ground. So, and we have also made a call to all the municipalities that people continue to report to them. So what we are reporting to you about the affected areas is really a preliminary report that we have. We will continue to consolidate the information. But I must also thank our disaster management teams across all the municipalities in the province for the excellent work that they've done during this time of the year to make sure that they respond promptly and swiftly to support the people during these very difficult times. And of course, we also wish to convey our sympathies to all the families that today, particularly tonight, is the time when people will be celebrating the year end. And of course, there are those that because of these natural disasters will certainly not be able to do that. Would like to assure them of government support, that at all times we'll be with them, we'll be working amongst them with them to make sure that when the year starts, and as we prepare for the reopening of the schools, the learners, the different families are supported to be able to make sure that learners are able to go to school and those who go to work at the beginning of the year are supported. I don't know, Doctor, you want to give some additional information?
Yeah, MEC, thanks very much. We do know that...
Can we just support you with this just a second? Sorry about that.
Thanks, MEC. Yeah, we do know that there are informal houses which were affected as well, like shacks, and we are going to work with our stakeholders to make sure that we are able to rebuild those informal houses. But also, I want to urge the communities that they must stop attacking our disaster management and emergency services officials, because that affect our turnaround time. So we really want to work with the communities. So our officials must not be attacked. Thank you.
Okay, there's just some additional information that has came in from the West Rand. I'll just want to add few points. There are about 51 RDP houses in Mutlakeng that have been affected, and this is behind the police station. There are about 12 shacks in Mutlakeng that have been affected, and out of these 12 shacks, 7 of them have been completely destroyed. And what worries us, according to the report, is that the owners of these shacks in Mutlakeng are currently not in the area, because people have gone back home to different parts of the provinces, because our province is a predominantly migrant labor-based province. So during this time of the year, people go back to their different places of origin in the provinces. So we will also want to make a call to the people, wherever they are in the country, that live in and around the informal settlements and RDP houses in Mutlakeng, to make contacts with their neighbors, because their houses could be affected. We're unable to reach out to them now because they are at home. Let me also indicate that there's an area called Zuberkom in the West Rand. We've got 14 houses that were affected, and in this case, their roofs were blown off, and electrical cables are also laying on the ground. We have received a report that Eskom is already active on the ground, dealing with them and working on repairing these electrical cables that are exposed. We also are aware that in the West Rand, particularly in the Zuberkom area, roads have been closed because the trees have fell on the ground, and this also make movement of people in the area quite difficult. But we want to plead with the people to respect all the signals and warnings issued by the municipality in that area, because the roads have been closed. So we call on motorists once more to be very cautious when they move in that area. Now in Simunye, which is an area in and around Beggersdal, we have received a report that 4 houses in that area were damaged, but assessments are still going on in that part of the province. So this is an additional area, additional information that we have received. There is a house in Roodepoort that has also been affected. We are told that in this house, a tree actually collapsed on the house and severely damaging it. So this is yet another information that we have just received. So in the overall, the most affected areas are the city of Johannesburg and the West Rand, particularly in the municipality of in the areas in and around the one in Rand, what is this? Rand West, which is the major of the former Western Area Municipality, and Randfontein. It's called Rand West. So this is where you find Zuberkom and Simunye. And then, of course, we have Mohali City. So the additional municipality that we have just added here is Rand West Municipality. So the rest of the province, we have not yet received any reports. Public infrastructure, it's only the hospital in Leraton that has been affected. A roof was blown there. Our DID officials are already on the ground trying to manage the situation. In this hospital, there have not been any casualties reported. So that, in general, is what we are sitting with. I think let me allow you to ask us any questions, but this is the information we have received thus far, and we are continuing to do the assessments.
Thank you so much, MEC. Going to